What's up, Kidzone? Today we're talking about the game of telephone, okay? You've all played it where you tell your friend and they tell a friend and they tell a friend, and at the end, the person has to say what they think they heard and they say it and it's totally not what the first person said, and everybody laughs and it's a great game, okay? It's a real fun game to sit and play at youth group and stuff. But did you know that people actually think that's how the Bible was written, as a game of telephone, as one person told something and it got distorted and another person and another person? And so sometimes we don't know what to say when people say that because we weren't there. We don't know that that's actually what happened. So we just kind of have to go in faith. But did you know you don't have to go in faith so much? There's actually scientific proof that the Bible was not written on the game of telephone. So when you think about other world leaders that came in through all the ancient days. So we'll think about like Plato and Aristotle. When we think of those major Greek philosophers, we don't doubt that they were alive. We know that we have writings of them, and we know that many people talked about them. But yet, when it comes to the Bible, people think, meh, game of telephone. I couldn't possibly trust the Bible. Okay, now let's put on our thinking caps. We're going to think like archaeologists, okay? So picture, have you seen Indiana Jones? You know how Indiana Jones was on the crusade? He was looking for the lost ark, right? The Ark of the Covenant, because it's going to hold so much information. Because when we see that we have manuscripts that were dated like 1,500 years before Jesus, and then we have the Ark of the Covenant that's going to have that same information, right? So the two, now we go, oh my gosh, it was totally true, right? So when we look at manuscripts of the Bible, we have thousands of manuscripts, you guys. So when we look at Socrates, Plato, Aristotle, do you know there were only 5 copies, 5 written manuscripts of Aristotle? And I heard something and it would say if you piled them all up, all the written papers and scrolls or whatever, it would be about 4 feet high. So that's like about your height. So with only 5 different manuscripts, we're still, yes, that is true. That is factual, right? Do you know how many are in the New Testament, you guys? I got to read it to you. 5,843 Greek New Testament manuscripts. 5,000! So that means that when they found a little scrap like this, 150 years before Jesus, they found copies of Isaiah, and it matched when they found the Dead Sea Scrolls. Now, that's just recently. That's in your grandparents' lifetime. They have found the Dead Sea Scrolls, which confirmed what was written in the Bible 1,000 years before Christ. So for that 850 years in between the Dead Sea Scrolls being written and then that little bit of manuscript that they have from 150 BC, nothing changed. It was 95% accurate to the Hebrew text. Isn't that amazing? It wasn't a game of telephone. It stayed true. And then when we look at the New Testament, so written in a whole new language, right? 5,843 manuscripts. And if you piled them up on top of each other, it would be over a mile high. Now that sounds like evidence to me, right? I wonder about you. So it's pretty crazy. So they found the first one in Egypt. I gotta tell you this part. So 30 years before the original, so before it actually happened, within 30 years they found a copy of the Gospel of John. So we know that it wasn't like 5,000 years people are still telling a story and writing it. They wrote that within 30, 60 years of knowing Jesus. Well, I'm pretty sure your grandparents can tell us about their childhood and we wouldn't call them liars, right? Because they remember it. They can recall it. They can close their eyes and picture it. This isn't just a game of telephone, you guys. This has stayed the same through different languages, different regions, different time zones, different cultures. The Word of God stays the same. Now that is a fact worth hanging your hat on, all right? So next time you hear somebody say, oh, it's just a game of telephone, you can't possibly believe that. Believe it, baby, because the text proves it. All right? I love you. Wish I could see you today. Bye.